Hi everyone, welcome to the Thursday evening edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. It is Thursday evening, the 4th of February. We're getting set to head into National Weather Person's Day tomorrow. I accept gifts. Hint, hint. It's also a good day tomorrow for another reason, and I'll talk about that in just a second. Well, speaking of good things, the Storm Tracker 21 weather app is now available for Android users in the Google Play Store. If you are an iOS user like I am with your iPhones, your iPads, it should be available in the App Store next week. So we're looking forward to that. If you're an Android user, download the app. Give me some feedback too. What do you like about it? What don't you like? You're going to find all our videos on there, including this one, live streamed to not only our newscast, but any severe weather coverage that we may be doing. Interactive radar on there, as you can see. You can plot up lightning data within that interactive radar. Great tools there. Hourly forecasts and the 7-day forecast, and all of the forecasting data is human generated. We're not going to put a bunch of junky computer model forecasts on there like you're going to find on the Yahoo weather app and the Weather Channel and on that most people have. So we think this is a far superior app, and it's certainly, of course, tailored towards the Mahoning and Shenango Valley. So looking forward to everyone downloading that and checking it out. All right, I mentioned tomorrow's a good day for another reason. It's the end of something we call solar winter, which is the quarter of the year that features the least amount of daylight. So roughly 6 weeks before the solstice, 6 weeks after the solstice, that's the period of the year that we have the least amount of daylight. Of course, sunrise is getting a little earlier. Sunset's a little more noticeable. The sunset now is getting up to close to 5:45. The sunrise getting earlier at a somewhat slower pace, but nonetheless, we're gaining about 2 minutes or so of daylight a day, and that pace will continue to accelerate as we head into late February and into March. Not much sunshine today. It was a pretty cloudy day as expected, and we've seen it kind of trying to spit a little snow out there, especially this evening. Live radar here at about, it is 7:45, showing a few flurries around, and these are particularly prominent up in Trumbull County. Not expecting any snow accumulation tonight, just some ho-hum conversational flurries. And you'll see that on our high-resolution futurecast here, just some passing flurries overnight. A lot of clouds around through about daybreak tomorrow. The model is a little slow here clearing things out, slower than some of the other models. I think this is a little too slow. I think once daybreak occurs tomorrow morning, the sky will clear fairly quickly, and it should be a pretty nice Friday. We'll have afternoon sunshine, temperatures getting a few degrees above the average. Temperatures didn't move much today. We were in the mid-30s pretty much all day. We've cooled off to 31 here in the 7 o'clock hour. We'll end up in the mid-20s by the end of the night tonight. Here's where all the Arctic air is, where it should be, up near the Arctic Circle. -20, -30 up here. Some chunks of this going to start coming south as we go through time and the weather pattern starts to change. In the meantime, again, tomorrow's a nice day for us. Not so nice along the East Coast tomorrow morning. A little sneaky snow event here that the modeling did not really pick up on until really earlier today or last night. Now this band of moisture will come back far enough west that this will be a problem for the morning commute tomorrow in Boston, New York City, Philadelphia, and parts of Long Island and Connecticut, Rhode Island as well. Then it goes away. Our weather stays pretty quiet, so right through the first half of the weekend. Friday afternoon looks good. Saturday will feature a mix of sun and clouds. This front off to our north will have very little, if any, effect on our weather. I expect the tranquil weather to continue right through the end of the weekend, despite maybe some clouds for a time Saturday night and early in the day on Sunday. Because of that East Coast little system, winter weather advisories, and even a winter storm warning in effect for parts of Massachusetts. That winter storm warning through tomorrow morning up there. All right, the big pattern change next week. Of course, the jet stream will take a dip across the eastern U.S., and the polar vortex, a chunk of it anyway, comes south, driving Arctic air down into the U.S. Now, compared to the averages, the biggest departures from average with this will be down in here. Our departures from average won't be quite as impressive. Of course, our averages are lower up here in the northern U.S. as compared to places like Atlanta, but nonetheless, this will be a colder air mass than we've gotten used to recently, that is for sure. Will it come with snow? The answer to that is yes, but no big storms. This is going to be a lot of nickel and dime stuff next week, with fairly persistent flurries and snow showers, and the lakes are wide open for business. There's only 5.7% ice cover on the Great Lakes. So no problem generating some lake effect or lake enhanced snow. So the snow belts can see some decent accumulations, I think, for our viewing area. Between now and a week from now, could someone get a few inches? Sure, but it's going to come over a long duration. It's not going to come all at once. Just some like I said, nickel and dime type of snow showers and flurries. All right, how long does the cold last? Here's the pattern for the middle of next week. Big, deep Mondo trough over the east and a big, strong ridge over the west. This is the pattern we had last winter. But last winter it locked in for a good, 6 weeks or so. This is going to last a few days. I think there will be one more kind of last hurrah over the weekend, as notice this ball, kind of a bowling ball comes down into New England as we go into the weekend, and that'll reinforce the cold for next weekend, but then the pattern relaxes, and as we go past Valentine's Day and through the middle of the month, you don't have a whole lot going on here across the U.S. A weak ridge in the west, kind of a weak trough across the east, but this is not a cold pattern. Could it produce a little snow, this pattern? Possibly, but I think a lot of the time it may be a little too warm for snow. So next week, is it winter's last hurrah? I'm not ready to say that. But the second half of February, the pattern doesn't look all that impressive for a lot of cold and storminess. And of course, once we get into March, it becomes harder and harder to get sustained cold. The sun angle's getting higher, the days are getting longer, and it just becomes more difficult for the atmosphere to produce a lot of cold weather. It succeeded last year through the first 10 days of March. In fact, we had record lows in the first week of March last year, but then the pattern flipped pretty quickly, and that may happen this year where March starts coming in quickly, and we may have an early-ish spring this year compared to some years. I don't think it's going to be like 2012 when it was in the 80s, but spring could get off to a somewhat rapid start this year. We'll talk more about the March and spring forecast as we head towards the end of February. Thanks for watching tonight's Weather for Weather Geeks. Look forward to seeing you tonight on 21 News at 11, and Weather for Weather Geeks returns Friday evening on my weather blog and the station weather page, wfmj.com/weather. This video always online by about 8 o'clock, with another posting right around 10 in case you missed it.